stop it, our love ain't fine. And I am burning, there is no line. If you are far from me, what can I do if I don't see you again? I'm not crazy, I am just as scared. So baby, please don't go, 'cause I will miss, yeah. You shake my mind, you burn my heart, you stop time, baby, I'm staying here, and I'll be waiting for you. You shake my mind, you burn my heart, you stop the time, baby, I'm standing here, and I'll be waiting for you. what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. I'm walking around in the circle of life, doing the things I know, walking the same ways 100 times with the same soul. But do you ever try to path on the right side, put it up in your mind? But did you ever try to path on the left side, put it up in your mind? It's gonna be alright. You run, try, roll your mind. You run, try, roll your mind. You run.
By now, we've seen everybody play their opening matchups, and just yesterday we saw two more matchups, best of threes this time, as teams are starting to get into the matchups that really, really matter. And today we'll see even more. Coming up first, we have a matchup that is to determine whether or not one of these teams is going to stay in the league at all. And for one team today, coming out of today, in a couple of hours from now, their TPL season will be over just about as soon as it began. My name is Happiness, and along with me for this wonderful cast is the one and only Custer. And Custer, I just want to get a gauge. How excited are we coming into the matchup today?
I mean, I'm super excited. These type of matches always get you in like a different type of mood, especially when you know it's like your last, when you know it's these two teams technically their last chance to kind of have their spot in TPL kind of like solidified, because
Mm,
tomorrow or whenever they play their next match, if they win this match, they get another,
mm,
and it's their that is also a last chance. If they lose that match, then their TPL
yeah.
season is over because of how our playoff bracket works. And the teams that we're going to be talking about today are Let Them Cook versus Okami. I'm not too sure if we have a graphics for the bracket, but if we could just bring that up right quick, and then we'll.
Because two teams make it out of each group, as you just saw in that bracket there. But enough about actually what happens after this game. Let's focus on the teams that we're actually going to see in this game. It is, as you said, mm. All right, sorry about that technical difficulty. Something happened there. We're not exactly sure what it was, but everything seems to be all smoothed out now. So we are going to be skipping over the team cards just because we want to make sure that nothing messes with the audio and that we're all constantly able to be heard. But you did just
Yep,
see
I'm
Let
ready.
Them Cook, and Okami as well
It
is the
won't.
other team that's going to be playing. They've got
Controller.
plenty of experienced teams there as well, but we're
My
actually going to be
controller
going
won't
right
work.
into the
Hang
match,
on.
I believe. So
I
you're not
got
going to have to worry about looking at us any longer because the players have gotten all ready to go right quickly.
it. Table, you should low-key make a live Twitter post real quick. You have the access to the Twitter. That was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Do you need
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it. Bomb located by attackers.
Connection severed. Action time! That's it! That's it!
Attackers activated.
Flashbang!
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs. Seconds left before insertion.
Sorry about that. A couple tech issues, but looks like everything should be resolved. And fortunately, I do actually think we are now back on. So, Okami was able to win the first round, as you guys were fortunate enough to see. We couldn't quite see it, but we could tune in on the stream to see how that went. And if you look at the scoreboard, Quinter, Stern, and Engage getting on the board. Only one kill found for Kensasaurus. That's a bit of a tongue twister, but still, let them cook. Unfortunately, starting off on the back foot on their defensive end, which isn't what you anticipate getting. When your first sight pick on Clubhouse on defense particularly, you're normally able to take that one on the defense. So it's, you know, it's a good start for Okami, to say the least. Definitely a team that I came in slightly favoring based on their first round results and the prowess they've come in with, the experience they've come in with, but it's going to be a good start for them on their map pick. But Ayers is now knocked down as well, so the Goyo's going to be on the ground. And there goes Solution Ship getting pushed as well.
And now Okami have control of the site, and they've gotten the picks that they need. They have construction control. They've just taken all angles of the map, and this has forced Let Them Cook to bunker back down into basement. Okami getting that that opening pick a second time in a row. That I was actually fortunate to see, because they did get the opening pick last round. It continues in this round, and they're starting this round off in dominant fashion of 5v2.
Yeah, already significantly on the back foot are Let Them Cook. Engage just going to be looking to make his way down the main stairs. They spot the Vulcan there, so that'll at least delay. But at this point for LTC, you're not really content with delaying Okami's push. You've got to do more than just make sure it takes a long time. You've got to take at least a few kills before you really stand much of a chance in this round. And fortunately, Kent still alive. The one player to get a kill last round might be able to do that again this time. Definitely will have to if Let Them Cook are to take this round, and it doesn't look like Vinny's going to get pushed too heavily. It's just going to be a drop straight into B. Plant already going down, and this looks like a done round in favor of Okami.
Yeah, you see. He's trying to use that smoke to create some sort of space for him to entry, at least through generators, into the dummy area quite easily, but he gets taken down, and now it leaves NBT Vinny in a 1v4. He has one player watching his main hallway, one person from dirt who absolutely eliminates him, decimates him into the ground, and there goes Okami getting their second round in a row. The Goyo fires weren't enough. The roam game wasn't enough for Let Them Cook, as they couldn't quite win their gunfights around the map.
Yeah, unfortunate there from Let Them Cook. They tried a really strong roam to start off with, but they really didn't put a ton of pressure on Okami, and they put themselves in spots where they really couldn't fall back. And I know particularly that first player to go down upstairs, well, of Ares, looked like he was in a really bad spot to actually make anything happen.
Attackers need
Just
to
kind of got
locate
caught
and
in
defuse
between a
bombs.
rock and a hard place. And then I believe it was Solutions as well, who went down just after that. I believe that was it, wasn't it, Custer? Yeah, it was. Solutions just kind of got caught in a really tough spot, and there was no way that he was going to be able to retreat from that position as well. So it was just unfortunate that Okami the roam they chose to go for, or rather the roam that LTC chose to go for, Okami were in such good spots to deal with it that, they really couldn't retreat. They had no chance at getting back home, and they just had to take fights. But Okami were pushed at so many different angles. It was just too tough an ask for LTC, and Okami now up 2.
Yeah, now Let Them Cook are gonna divert their site choice, going from the basement area all the way to gym bedrooms. It's tough losing that site, losing basement the first time. Losing it 2 times in a row can be pretty damaging on the mentals, because it's usually almost always a site that goes in favor of the defense, and that site has been pretty decisive, at least for Okami, in the last 2 rounds. So going into gym bedroom is a good idea, but they're gonna need to change up their playstyle just a little bit.
That they will. It doesn't look like Okami are changing too much with the spots they chose to take early in the last round, even though it is a very different site. Last time they really focused on getting control of the top floor first. This time they won't waste any time downstairs. Automatically trying to establish control over the pool wall, and the easiest way to do that is to establish control over the window. Then you could take the bandit charges off the wall. This will be done with the help of the fuse, as the cluster charge goes through, and the exothermic will go off without much of a problem. Only a minute is gone off the clock, and you already have that wall open as well. That's decently good time, and definitely good time considering the fact that they've also taken that time to establish control over other areas of the map, and Let Them Cook are not very far extended off the site here, so it won't be too hard to take the rest of the map. They put a lot of stock in keeping that wall unopened for a long time, and they weren't able to do that, as Okami, minute 30 seconds to play with, and they look very comfortable right now.
It's all about getting into that site, though, and this is where some teams kind of mess up a little bit. You have your walls open, you look like you have your angles covered, but then you maybe run out of ideas, or you're taking a little bit too long, and then the defensive utility kind of screws you up. There goes the crossfires, and boom, just like that, the round goes in favor of Let Them Cook. And it seems like Okami are taking a bit of time, and I wonder if that's going to be their maker, or if they're just waiting for the perfect time baiting out utility, which one smoke grenade does come out, maybe waiting for one nitro cell to come out because that is confirmed in either the hand of the bandit or the mirror. You still have the smoke playing behind the mirror as well in the bathroom, trying to hold off the Jacuzzi push as best as he can, and he will need the help of his main stairs player if there is one from Let Them Cook.
Ooh, and speaking of players on Let Them Cook, Ayers is going to start off with a kill. Big frag to get, and Solutions and Bean Yacht are going to continue to make it better and better as now they leave only Zer9 alone outside of pool wall. Playing the Thermite, runs straight through, gets one kill but dies. In the same situation, he was able to get that kill, and as soon as he was able to find that frag onto Ayers, it was traded out immediately by the smoke canister he had just thrown. Okami not able to make it a flawless first 3 rounds, and Let Them Cook, at the very least, are able to do something on their defensive side. They get halfway through when they aren't going to go halfway through the half, or rather halfway through this half before the side swap without taking a single round.
Yeah, unfortunately for Okami, it wasn't really the Jacuzzi push to screw them up. It was mainly their back push. Their back push players kind of like just got eliminated pretty easily. I don't know if they weren't really working together in clearing the construction area of the map or clearing the cache area of the map. But regardless of that, they lose a lot of players on that side, and they can't do a two-man push like you normally would do on that gym bedroom site. They couldn't really pull it off in the way that was most effective. And so now Let Them Cook win their first round of the game, and it's on an off-site, which is gym bedroom. Not really an off-site, it's a secondary site choice, but still a site that is pretty balanced between the attackers and the defenders. And in that round, it wasn't really balanced because Let Them Cook won their gunfights again on that construction push. And so now they're going to go into the first floor, going into the bar stage area. And this site depends mainly on your top floor hold. And the last time we saw Let Them Cook do a top floor hold or a really strong roam, they got decimated on it. So I wonder if that's going to be the same case here.
Yeah, it looks like that's kind of what Okami thrive in, at the very least from what we've seen these first few rounds. Let Them Cook win the round where they don't have too much of an extension off the site, save for 1 or 2 players who are just on very loose roams where they're just trying not to be spotted. They're not trying to hold down areas of the map or delay the Okami push. Rather, they want to come back into the picture later and try and get any kills they can towards the end of the round. That's when Let Them Cook thrived, but they were struggling when they had more roams set up off this site that actually focused on taking those fights earlier and delaying the time from Okami, because Okami can just push in well off of, you know, good team coordination, really solid drones, and deal with that roam effectively. And so that's exactly like you said, what they have to do on this bar site, and that might just be exactly where Okami want them to be, is Zer9 almost has that angle, but not quite able to catch anybody. Solution, oh, what a shot from Zer9, and that's a massive opening pick. Air's taken low as well, and Okami start this round off strong.
Really nice pick on to, again, I mean, a roamer here from Let Them Cook, but Beanyat is there for a refrag. It looks like Aris was maybe going to get confirmed, but he doesn't. Somebody is not watching the windows neither, or they're not really paying too much attention to the setup because the player is caught off guard in the weight room or in the gym room right next to the weights above that hatch. Yeah, from underneath. And now Let Them Cook, you only have 2 players alive. It's again another roam where your players are a little bit too spread out from each other and they're not able to support each other quick enough on that roam. And it seems like you're very discombobulated on this defense so far. Now with 1v4 where Benny has to try and clutch up. He can't do it. He wasn't going to be able to do it in that second round. And in this round, he won't be able to do it here. Again, Okami, 3-1 lead at the moment.
Yeah, great team coordination from Okami. Exactly like it was the last time they pushed a roam on the top floor. They just had all the drones in the right spots. They were sending in as many different players as they could from as many different angles as possible, and they knew that it wasn't going to be contested because Let Them Cook are falling back very easily on the roam, but not necessarily falling all the way back. They also fall back into sort of a similar spot. There were 2 or 3 of them in the gym bedroom area by the very end of that roam, as in by the time they all got killed. So it's kind of crazy to think that they all end up back there. Nobody fell back onto the site itself, though. They just all wanted to hold out inside of the bedroom, but they didn't have much utility up there to really help them. It all depended on watching the right angles at the right times, but that was exactly what Okami did. They pushed the right angles at the right times. They got that opening pick on Zer9, and then from then on out, it was a little bit of a done round because Let Them Cook just felt like they were to check in too many different angles, and then Benji came from underneath with the pool hatch. It was just fantastically coordinated by Okami. Now it's like a 3-1 lead off the back of it.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, and I like how in this round you mentioned that they didn't have any utility, and that was the case on the same roam that they had on the basement defense. And so I like the change up here with them rotating some of their utility on the top floor with the Thunderbird, the Mute, and the Mirror all combined. And again, it's the same site, the stage bar site, where your top floor matters most. So it's not like it's like a site where you can anchor, and so Let Them Cook can choose to anchor site if they want to, because their roam is just not working. No, they need to roam, they need to hold the top floor. And it's nice to see them adjust and say, hey, look, we can bring intel denial, we can also bring us some heals here so that we can stand in some of these power positions just a little bit more longer with a little bit of extra health. And that's very smart. I like that change up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you saw the mute jammer on the wall. That delays them just a bit. Not too long, as eventually it is taken off of the wall, and the exothermic charge does detonate. But still, it shows that Okami, or not Okami, but Let Them Cook, are really learning from their mistakes. Like you said, you need to hold the top floor here. You want to invest as much utility as you can in the site itself to make it difficult to take, but you need to make sure you can hold the top floor for as long as possible. But that's going to make it difficult. Quinner getting a nice nade onto Bean Yacht, so the Thunderbird down, not going to be able to heal themselves off after that one because, well, the nade's gonna full kill you the instant it gets within that range, and does just that. Nice opening frag for Quinner, and half the round left to play. Okami once again at the advantage.
Yeah, to get this opening pick, but you gotta look at the clock here too. Maybe soon enough, Okami would do what they did on the gym bedroom side, where they ran out of time, or even they'll just rush in like that. That was kind of awkward to see from Stern, but again, they really have no intel to work off of. If you look at their drone count, it doesn't really look like they have many drones. You have 5 drones, which is not like too little, but still maybe the mute jammers were just enough to disrupt them in getting the information that they needed. Now 3v2 in favor of Let Them Cook. You still have Quinner on the second floor, but he's getting shot at from all different sorts of angles. And finally, Okami, after losing 3 men, have the second floor control. But again, that's just it. They only have it with 2 men up.
Yeah, and they don't even have it fully. Vinny is still upstairs inside of Cash, waiting for someone to push him from construction. And Zer9 and Quinner are going to have a really tough time here. Barely enough time for Quinner to make any holes in the roof and try and do something there. Doesn't quite catch Kentsasaurus, I believe that was. Holding the roof just on the other side of an undestroyable wall. Vinny has dropped back to the site, though, knowing it's only 20 seconds left. They have to push right into you. Ari is just waiting for a push down this staircase. C4 goes out. C4 not able to secure a kill, but still has a shotgun. That should be good enough. Zer9 only sees a little bit of his head, but still does so much damage. And Vinny gets the next one as well. So Okami, as quickly as they got into that round, it all fell apart from Let Them Cook. And in spite of their best efforts, Quinner and Zer9 are not able to bring it back. And Let Them Cook might just be able to even out this half at the very end.
Again, the adjustments there from Let Them Cook was pivotal in them winning that round. On a stage site and also on their many other rooms, like we mentioned before, didn't have a lot of utility on the roam, didn't have a lot of utility on their setups to ensure that they could hold the top floor for a little bit longer, and in that case, also waste Okami's time. Now in that round, they did. They brought the Mute, they brought the Thunderbird, they brought the Mirror, and all of those operators, maybe apart from the Thunderbird, were instrumental in not only slowing Okami down, but also making them lack what they haven't been lacking in the first few rounds, which is the intel gathering. And you saw them kind of run in blindly, having to face check corners, or even just not check corners at all, and get punished by Let Them Cook for it. So really nice play there from Let Them Cook, and again, really nice adjustments. I really like seeing stuff like that. Little small things, not even small things, but big things like that, that show that, hey, look, we're learning, we see you, we hear you, we understand you, and you know, we're here to play. And so Let Them Cook are potentially, though, the tying round before we have these two teams switch sides in the halftime mark, or even Okami taking a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way, and I mean, like you said, with Let Them Cook adjusting so effectively, there's reason to believe they will only get better with time. However, Okami also look very, very solid through this first half. Mind you, this is definitely not attacker-sided. Most maps at this point are slightly favored to the defenders, so 3-3, 4-2 halves are not that far out from expectation. Typically, it's more of a 4-2. So Okami being in the position where they have the ability to win this half if they win this round, and even if they don't, it's still a 3-3, is a fantastic spot to be in as the attackers. Though we do definitely see some 3-3, 3-3, full regulations on Clubhouse. It can happen from time to time. So I don't think it's quite out of the woods yet for Okami just because you won a few rounds off the start, especially not if Let Them Cook continue to adapt and figure out what they're doing wrong, make better on it, and possibly pull some of those rounds out towards the very end.
Let Them Cook decided to go onto the basement site. Lost this site 2 times in a row, but that was because their roam was picked apart quite easily. They don't have a roam to pick apart
Yeah,
now.
very low roam here.
There's no roam at all, actually, and maybe this is a
Really?
bit more. Maybe it's a bit more flank dependent. Maybe you'll have
Oh, yeah,
somebody
it's
flank up the if they flank up the blue stairs or maybe main stairs. If they have to retake the second floor, that is also an option. But you also have to be dependent on the attackers not holding those positions neither, and so that is also a downside to maybe not having a roam, is that you don't really have any extra pressure points put in elsewhere, and if the attackers figure out that you're not roaming, they can just cut your rotations off just like this from blue, from secret, from in garage if you try and go up the oil pit ladder, even from the main stairs. Every angle can be covered on this site, and that's the downside of not roaming at times, especially if teams are angling for an armory execute.
Yeah, and it looks like that. Excuse me, I've lost my voice a little bit over the past couple days, but it looks like that is what Okami are sort of setting themselves up for. Benji set himself up to, like you said, cut off the rotates in blue. With 45 seconds left, Okami haven't done too much with all the control they've been giving. Definitely setting themselves up for a push into armory, but Benji right now is just making sure nobody's able to rotate comfortably in blue without at least hearing a couple M762 shots sent their way. Is that some massive Claymore? Benji somehow able to get that Claymore kill. That was set up in garage. Right, now he'll go back, set up another one, because Ares was trying to make a flank happen. But that's an advantage to Okami, but here comes the end of the round. In go the Candelas, and Engage is about to engage in many engagements. Looking for the feet first, though, to try and find any picks he can find before the initial push in. Does a pretty good job doing damage. Plenty of kills to Okami. Zernine getting a plant down solution alone. 1 versus 3. Gets 1 kill though. SMG-12 could go massive, but Benji gets him as he hops up. And they ended up not going for armory. They switched it up, went to bar. The execution looked so good there, regardless of where they ended up. And Zernine sticking the plant is Benji, getting that final kill. And Okami do win that first half outright as they go into their defensive half, only needing to win half of these rounds in this side of the map.
Yeah, around that, it could have gone either one of 2 ways. Okami kind of play into the setup a little bit too much of Let Them Cook. You saw like 2 nitro cells, plus you saw a lot of them executing towards armory side, which they did, but Let Them Cook did not only did they not make usage of their utility, but a lot of players were again shut down as they tried to make a rotate happen and tried to make a rotate, tried to make some sort of flank happen. They couldn't get it done because nobody's watching garage. Why? Because there's 2, you could place 2 claymores up there now. That's the advantages of having the 2 claymores now. You have 1 explode, get 1 kill, and then you place another down there, and you don't have to really worry about another run because the defense is now cautious that they can run into that second claymore. And so Let Them Cook, not only did they not use their utility correctly, but they were also stuck on site. This is why it's one of those things where if you're gonna have mainly your whole team set up turtle like that on site, you should always have an escape plan, or even have somebody who's off site just doing their own thing, and then when it's time for them to pounce, they're ready for it.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Safe to say that Okami did in fact not let them cook, as the end of that round really just fell flat on its face for the defenders. They didn't have too much utility to delay, but even if they did have some, the ones that they did have to actually make sure that Okami took a little longer on the attack were used so early because they didn't try and contest any of the maps. So just looks like basement was a rough site for LTC to defend against Okami with how quickly they can take control and deny the roam. But now they'll actually be the ones who have to take control, who have to deny the roam as they move on to the attack side. And it will be basement for Okami, but much more of a heavier roam setup here. You see the Oryx, the Vigil, the Mozzie, all three players that can play very comfortably off the objective. And although control is being taken by Airs right now, it's only there's a minute going off the clock, a decent amount of time to have wasted without really taking too much damage though. Engage and Stern have taken a bit as Let Them Cook. Not super comfortable, but Engage just goes for it, and Solution is going to take him down as a result. And you sounded pretty shocked by that one, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I wonder what type of information he had based off of that, because yeah, no, Solution was shooting through the windows, and so I'm guessing he was like, oh, maybe I can get away with one here, and just timing kind of bit him a little bit. And with that, Engage is made to pay for siege timing. That's quite literally it. And so Okami have that man disadvantage and Let Them Cook have the lead here in terms of man count, but even then time can get even lower for them as they wasted like quite a bit of time just doing their own roam clear.
Yeah, there's only a minute left, and they're just now getting to the point where they can break the hatches comfortably, break open holes in the roof. And though they do have a player advantage, they don't have a sledge or a buck or anything like that. They have breach charges on Zofia and on Ash, so that's probably just their substitute. Maybe they just prefer the guns. R4C and M762 are both very fun to play with, but you know, not bringing a sledge or an Ash does seem like you're putting yourself at a bit of a disadvantage just because of comfort. And well, hopefully they look comfortable enough. He's being not able to hit that shot. Smoke almost taken off the board with 2 gas canisters still in hand. However, he still has them. He's going to use them right about now, though, because his life is at risk down that hallway. Kent's going to get one, but he's traded out by Benji. Now, Kami looking decently strong as they're able to trade these out quicker. Oh my gosh, what a flick that is. He got that kill into Vinny. Beanyat able to get one back. It's a 1 versus 1, and he wins it out at the end. And such a hectic push at the very end of the round, but Beanyat with the M45 gets 2 straight kills, and the pistols more than good enough to take that round and steal it from Okami, as it looked like they had things locked up. A 1v2 on the defensive side, but just zero idea where that last player was on Let Them Cook. And absolutely a massive save of a round from Beanyat as he brings them to within 1 round of Okami.
Yeah. Just got a little bit hectic there at the end, and Okami, that was a little bit way too hectic for the defense. Even in that 2v1 where where usually you would think to have the advantage, 9 times out of 10, especially with the push that hectic, those 1v2s are very easy to clutch out. And with it being that like chaotic, they didn't really, not only did they not have the intel for it, but they couldn't really prepare themselves for like a crossfire or to trade each other out quick enough. So I understand it, you know, stuff happens. Let Them Cook win the round, and they're 1 round away from tying it up. And now we get to see Okami go to the gym bedroom site. Not gonna do what Let Them Cook did, which is try the basement site 3 times, or actually 2 times in a row, and lose it back to back. Instead, they're gonna switch the site off rip as soon as they lose it. And right now I'm seeing some interesting picks, like not really the Frost, that's kind of here nor there, not really the Valkyrie, that's neither here nor there as well. Mainly just the Pulse, the Oryx, and also the Echo.
Yeah, Echo's an unusual one to bring on the site. Also, this position that Benji's in, you're almost always accompanied by a Mira window when the operator's not banned, so not choosing the Mira here is something that normally you'll see that brought, but instead you choose to go for a lot of interesting utility. Like you said, the Pulse, Echo, and Valkyrie all going to provide a ton of good utility, but I mean, particularly the Echo, I have to wonder, where is he going to be playing to keep himself safe? You'd have to imagine it's going to be a heavy roll to try and make sure he'll still be alive. Yeah, that's probably just going to be one of those players who just ends up lurking around basement, might try and make a play from dirt tunnel, like, you know, meleeing open a hole and trying to catch somebody off on jacuzzi wall. But I mean, that's the best thing I can suggest. It feels like it's a bit of a forced pick here, but should definitely still have some impact, as it looked like there was a C4 attempt made onto the player on CC Valk, though it does not work, and Engage is so incredibly low. I think he was the one to throw the C4, and R is as well, taken very low, but not quite as low as the Valkyrie of Okami, as still nobody dying quite yet. Definitely some skirmishes here and there, but with 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the round, It's just going to be all about taking over cash, taking the horizontal control, and
That's
trying to
right.
let yourselves into the site. But Quinner, what a shot that is. Is caught looking at the wrong angle, and Okami get the advantage.
Yeah, Quinner able to get that kill before the Ayana released her nade, and even then it was at the wrong spot. Actually, I think he was trying to throw the nade at the rotate, which even
Yeah.
then, it just the timing yet again, and Quinner is able to find the second
Ooh.
player holding that CCTV wall, and right now he's on a heater. He had no protection on those stairs, neither no ADSs, no Omai, because they're not both picking this round, and still somehow he's able to survive in that position. But even then on the other side of the map with a shotgun, you have the Echo able to get one, and now a 1v3 in favor of Okami, as they seem to have exploded this round. Again, no protection surrounding any of these players in the power position, but Binya in a prime position to clutch yet again, can't do it. Quinner able to close it out, and Okami put themselves one round away from match point.
Oh, nice round there from Okami. Just comes down to Quinner. Massive round, 3 kills, as Kent's is going to call the timeout for Let Them Cook. They really need to talk this one over. They're at the point of no return, basically. Like you said, 1 round off of match point, as LTC, unfortunately, not given the option to request the timeout in the in-game client. But you know what? Siege, it'd be absolutely insane if we all woke up and Siege was working exactly as intended. But that's why we love it, don't we? But yeah, I mean, that last round, I thought it was funny because at one point somebody on Let Them Cook walked backwards into a frost mat that was meant for if you walked in the window. It was Solutions, because Solutions was there to trade out Benji when he came back inside off the run out, but then in doing so ran into the frost mat, which left Bean in such an unclutchable situation, though he actually brought it pretty close, 2 kills at the end there. But as good as the Ash looked in that clutch situation in the first attacking round they played, wasn't able to replicate it last round, and now Okami remain up by 2.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Honestly, they get Quinner. Those 2 players, it seemed like they were a little bit too passive. They got the information that he was set up on the top of red stairs, and they took a while to prep a nade to try and clear him out. And again, I mean, the Quinner caught somebody just on siege timing and let them cook lose that round because again, they can't really. It just doesn't seem like they can use the time wisely. At least time it early enough, because it seems like they wait too long at times. But even then, Okami 1 round away from putting themselves on match point. Basement is going to be their site choice, with the Vigil being picked along with the Capcan. And Vigil is always like an interesting pick to me, because I know a lot of people may say, oh, Vigil's useless and whatnot. But I actually think Vigil can be quite powerful, at least on other maps than some. Clubhouse, I think he's pretty good, especially if you're looking to roam from the basement site or even in the basement site itself, just because of how useful his Vigil scanner is and the radius it can cover. People underestimate how powerful that scanner is. Very intimidating, especially if you don't know exactly where the Vigil is.
I know plenty of times I've been droning out against Vigils and been like, is this guy running around on top of my drone or something? Because it feels like the marks just won't go away. But no, it is just that large of a radius. It's probably covering a decent chunk of the bottom floor in its entirety, no matter where you stand. This Solution ship is going to take the Mozzie off the board. That's definitely going to help the drones. Not fully, because Vigil is still alive. Stern still standing, but taking Benji off the board. He's been a massive gun. 9 kills, second only to Quinner on 10, who had a massive round in the round prior to this one. But yeah, I mean, Stern going to be playing the Vigil to try and get an aggressive roam. But after that first kill, it's going to be really just down to who can get back to site as fast as possible, because Engage is off the site. But actually, Quinner's going to double down on this roam. They're not really full clearing the top floor. It looks like they're just trying to get into dirt as quickly as possible without really acknowledging the fact that there could be much more of a presence upstairs. And so why not double down if they're not going to really put as much focus on it as they can? We'll leave the site only to Zer9 and to Stern. And that could be risky, especially with Binyak coming in from dirt.
Yeah, this is very tricky. And they know that Okami is going on a heavy roam. They don't have that hatch open, apart from actually letting Cook open that hatch. I thought nobody was up there at first, but I see now the outline of a player, plus the hatch seemingly has been open. And they could easily just cut off anybody trying to rotate into the kitchen area, but even then they also have to watch above them in the logistics area. A smoke is going to make Binyat not really push into Armory as of yet, as he has, well, not just a lot of angles to clear. He has the shield to clear, AKs. He also has the first, second, and third box in here too. And he doesn't really seem to be getting a lot of support from his teammates on that top floor neither.
Not quite, as it's been quite a little bit of a stalemate here between Bean and Zer9. They've just kind of been shooting some bullets here and there at one another. Zer9 has come out on top of it, at least for now. But, oh, they're actually shooting of the gas canister, and then Zer9 responds, you shoot my gas canister, I shoot you, as he gets that kill, trades out his first teammate to fall in this round. Quinter's back on the site as well, so we can watch the hatch drop as Engage is still waiting off this site. They have no idea he's there. Gonna drop the site. Gonna drop in, though, is Vinny. Now trying to get a plant down, but he's been caught out by the gas canister. The nade's in such a bad spot, and here comes Stern as well. Coming in from the side, Solution's been knocked down. Vinny was taken down while trying to get a plant off. Ares isn't gonna be ready for that angle. No, he's not. Solution still knocked. It's only up to Kensis Sores, but that's not gonna be nearly enough. One player alone in dirt will not save your round, and it's not gonna go the way I let them cook. They won the early round, and the mid round didn't look bad, but they completely forgot to clear the rest of the map, and they got punished for it.
Yeah, I don't think they were ready for that smoke set up by AKs neither because of the way they kind of interacted with it. You saw Lion or whoever that was on Lion from Let Them Cook kind of struggle not only with that gunfight, but just clearing the Lion entirely from the shield. And then also the rest of Let Them Cook struggling to clear the smoke from behind that shield neither. So that was pretty interesting to watch them kind of like funnel in one by one and then just kind of like lose out a little bit to the smoke, but also just kind of get a little bit desperate there at the end from Let Them Cook as their options seemingly has run out. And now Okami, match point, Let Them Cook, you have 3 more chances, or you head into your own map pick, 1-0 down, and I mean that's not too bad. You're expected to lose your opponent's map pick as per the customs of map picking bans.
Yeah, I mean, you picked the map that you're more comfortable on, and Okami definitely seemed the part so far, as they already have such a distinct advantage that they can afford to lose the next 2 rounds, and still they will not end up overtime. That's definitely something special, as Okami now go to Cash and CC. It's the site they choose this time around. I like this setup underneath. It's going to allow for a lot of different long angles, and you don't have to necessarily keep somebody in garage for a very long time to actually hold that garage itself. It's a decent alternative to an Azami when you're not able to play the Azami, as of course has been banned out here by Let Them Cook. I like the fact that Okami were prepared for that kind of ban to come out from their opponents on this map, and so they've got the secondary strategy already prepped using that relatively recently added bailiff on Doc, which has made him so much more viable in so many ways. Not just the bailiff, but also the changes to his heals as well. Feels like we've been seeing Doc and the MP5 all over the place. As we also see the Rook this time as well.
Yeah, with Rook, they also changed his abilities to like not too long ago after or before or at the same time as Doc, where you can pick yourself up with the Rook vest now, or even just not deny a lot more damage, but again, you take less shrapnel damage, which means you take less explosive damage than before. So it makes it useful for holding areas where you have to not only worry about what's in front of you, but also what's underneath you as well. Wait, he just ran into sight,
oh my God,
and there
what?
goes Solution. He has the Resters player on lock, takes him out, and Solutions is in the middle of the site, but you also can watch your red stairs, and there goes Quinter, capitalizing off of the chaos and capitalizing off of the miss crosshair placement of the ace, and Quinter, he's no quitter, and he certainly wants to be a winner. Chicken, winner dinner or whatever.
Okay, oh, you almost got it. I was almost
got it.
almost
But
had it.
Okami takes the first map 7-3.
That'd be a Twitter clip after this one. Keep an eye on
inside. I can't control what's running through my mind. My mind, oh. I try to run for out of